Good evening, one and all. Let's start with today's session. This session will be handled by Mr. Chichu Khader Mohammed. The webinar is hosted by Department of Civil Engineering of Mahaguru Institute of Technology. MIT was established in the year 2009 by Sri Gurudeva Charitable and Educational Trust and has been successful in producing distinct engineers over a decade. The college is approved by All India Council for Technical Education and is affiliated to APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University. Our college received the ISO certification and is also NAAC accredited with B+ grade. I, myself, Lakshmi MG, Assistant Professor of Civil Engineering Department of Mahaguru Institute of Technology, is vested with the duty of delivering the welcome speech for today's session. The Department of Civil Engineering is conducting a webinar on the topic, An Insight to Load Test on Piles. I am profusely overjoyed to introduce the resource person of the day, Mr. Chichu Khader Mohammed. He is an experienced civil engineer holding an MTech degree in remote sensing and GIS from NIT Surathkal. He has a demonstrated history of working in various projects of the Government of Kerala, including Smart City Mission Project, infrastructure projects, rural development projects, etc. His professional experience extends to construction industry, inspection of civil works as per IS codes and CPWD specifications, DMC piling, GPS surveying, GIS mapping, etc. He has memberships in Institution of Engineers India and IRC. Currently, he is working as the Associate Engineer at Urban Infrastructure and Tourism at IPE Global Limited. On behalf of the college, as well as the Department of Civil Engineering, I take this opportunity to welcome the resource person of the day, Mr. Chichu Khader Mohammed. Hearty welcome to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Lakshmi.
I
Am I
extend a
audible?
yes,
Yeah.
sir. I extend a warm welcome to our beloved HOD, Professor Priya Grace E.T. Ibe, for her immense support for the conduct of this webinar, and all the faculty members as well as the students for joining with us for the webinar. Before starting with this session, I invite the head of the department, Mrs. Priya Grace E.T. Ibe, to talk a few words.
Yeah, thank you, Lakshmi. Good evening, everybody. I would like to take this opportunity to once again welcome our resource person of the day, Mr. Chichu Khader Mohammed. Welcome, sir. And I would like to express our extreme gratitude that you agreed at such a short notice to conduct this webinar for us. I remember Suji came and told me that we can approach you, but you immediately agreed, even though we were expecting a delay in your dates and all. And we were so glad that you did so. And I would like to point out to the students over here that it is an advantage for us to get a person from the industry side to speak on such things, because for us it is easy to get an academic person because people are we can approachable over here, but to get a person from the industry side is actually advantageous because the real things happen in the industry only. Teaching is another side, but the reality of it comes from the industry only, and a person who talks from experience from that side has a different sort of insight in these things. And in this opportunity, I would just like to mention that I saw your resume and it's quite impressive. I'm just hoping, we are just hoping that in future also, if we have some particular topic on which we would like you to speak on, we would definitely like to collaborate with you in future also, sir. I hope it will not be a problem with you. Because I have seen that you have worked in quite a variety of areas. So it will be definitely advantageous for the students also. Ultimately that, yes, sir? Yeah,
Yeah.
ultimately, okay, sir. Yeah, ultimately this purpose of the webinars of this sort are to convey the knowledge to the students. So once again, sir, thank you very much on behalf of the department for agreeing to come on such a short notice, and you were so willing. You actually gave us the opportunity to choose the topic also. So that was a great advantage for us also, and looking forward to collaborating with you in future also. And all of us are waiting for your session, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Actually, I am also looking forward for collaborating with you for future webinars also, because as an industry person, so working for last 10 years in civil engineering area,
Yes.
the thing I have most seen is nowadays students in earlier days we were getting practical experience even in our college, from our college.
Yes.
We were
Yes.
going for internship and everything. So nowadays, when pressure comes to us,
Yes.
they are not having that much field experience, or they are not aware of IS code, or how to read an IS code, or how to get knowledge from an IS code. So that's why I immediately took this opportunity, because this is an opportunity I got for interacting with the students and share my knowledge. And mostly in this session, I have planned, like, I won't be taking a lecture on PyLotus. I will be sharing my experience through photographs and videographs.
Yes.
And if any student is having some doubt, I am not telling I am a master of this subject. I have done PyLotus for the last 10 years, various times. So like, if anyone having doubt, they can also ask me later also, because
Okay.
in this limited time we can only having only 1 hour, I think.
Yes,
So
sir.
I will just give an introduction and every aspect of pilot testing. So I think we can start now, right?
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Lakshmi, over to you.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, your active participation is important throughout the session. You can enter your queries and comments in the chat box, which will be answered at the end of the session. And if Sir is willing, we can ask him in future also. All participants are requested to mute your microphone so that we can start the session. Once again, welcome you all. Thank you.
Okay.
So you can start the session.
Okay. So good evening to all students. I am much interested to meet you all in this Sunday evening. So I would like to give you an introduction about Deep Foundation. Then I will talk about pilot testing, with special emphasis on IS 2911 Part 4, that is Lotus for files. And then I will show you some videographs and photographs of pilot testing, dynamic load testing also. So initially, first, as an introduction, I think you are from the students are from various semesters, from first year to final year. Students will be there. So file foundations are deep foundations, which transmit the load from the our structure to deep to a higher depth. So either to the load-bearing strata, that is rock strata, or through friction to the soil, the loads are transferred using frictional force. So when we are doing a load test on piles, we are assessing the load carrying capacity of that pile. The pile will be designed by a structural engineer. Initially, we will do a load test, soil test at our work site. Then we will be designing the pile. A structural engineer will be designing the pile based on the soil characteristics and based on the load that is coming from the column. So after designing the pile, we need to assess what is the safe carrying capacity of pile. During the design, we will give an assumption for 50 dia pile, 50 mm, 500 mm dia piles, or 600 mm dia piles. There will be a recommendation in the soil report. So the structural engineer will be designing the RCC design of the pile will be according to the recommendation from the soil report. So at site, we need to verify the safe load carrying capacity of the pile. So we will be doing the procedure of load bearing, pile load test. So I will share my screen to show you what is initial load test, then the IS code and everything. So hope you can see the PPT. Can you confirm?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So for our for load test on pile, we are following IS 2911 Part 4. That is including initial load test, then routine load test. So initially, I will show you some photographs of pile load test. Then we will the result of pile load test I will show you. Then we will be coming back to the methodology. So initially, so when we say pile load test, this is the arrangement of a pile load test. There will be a pile will be installed at first using DMC, like direct mud circulation method. Board cast in situ pile is installed. Then we are going to verify the safe load capacity of a pile. So this is the arrangement of a pile load test. There will be a Kenledge. This is known as the Kenledge. Then this is the pressure gauge which we are using. This is the dial gauge which we are getting the readings of settlement. This is the hydraulic jack we are using to apply load on the pile. So when we say pile load test, we are assessing the safe load of the pile as well as what is the settlement when a load acts on a pile. So there will be a safe load already assumed for pile load test. For a design of a pile. So if it is 50 tons, we are assessing whether it is the pile is capable of taking that much load, or what will be the load that the design can take. Sometimes if we are designing for 50 tons, sometimes if the design is some over design, the pile may can take more than 50 tons. So we need to assess initially the load with carrying capacity of the pile. So for that, we are applying a load through a hydraulic jack. This is the hydraulic jack used for pile load test. So initially, I am showing you various equipments because you need to, when I am telling some technical terms or technical, when I am telling dial gauge or pressure gauge, you need to imagine what is that, or you should have an idea regarding the pile. This is the pile which we are going to apply the load. Initially, we have installed the pile, then there will be reinforcement in the pile. This should be cleared for, prepared for the pile head should be prepared for the load test. So this is the pile we are going to apply the load. Then this is the final, this is the data sheet which we are writing from the field itself for when we get each and every reading from each dial gauges. So the settlement value will be recorded in a data sheet from the field. And finally, what we need to get is this total settlement of the pile, then net settlement of the pile, then rebound. Rebound is nothing but initially we will give a load, and after maintaining that load for some time, we will release the load gradually. So initially we will give some loads, gradual load we will give. Then after maintaining the load for some time, we will release the load. So that time the pile will rebound. If there is some settlement, the pile will rebound from its position. So the net settlement shall be calculated, and the rebound percentage is very important. So I will explain it later. Just want to show you the equipments and the system used for pile load test. So this is the overall arrangement of a pile load test. I mean, maintain the load method. So the load is over a kennel. This is known as the kennel. This is the pressure gauge. Then we have seen the pile. This is the pile prepared for the load test. So now I will give a brief on the what are load tests, what are the types of load tests we are using. So after designing a pile, initially for a project we will install a pile, a load pile, test pile. That is known as test pile. That is not a working pile. It is not. There will be no column loads over that pile, because that pile will be installed inside the building area where we are going to construct the building, but not in the position of a column or where the column load comes. So there is a test pile, and we will first install a test pile using the same method which we are going to install the working piles, which the working piles will be transferring loads from our structure. So the test pile will be installed in the same method as the working pile, and that test pile is intended to conduct the initial load test pile. And initial stage of that is when the initial stage of the project we are installing a test pile, and that pile will be loaded up to an ultimate load. That means ultimate load means what load it will take, we need to assess how much load it will take. So we are giving a maximum load to the pile up to failure. That pile will be failed by our load, or we will give up to 2.5 times the estimated safe load. This estimated safe load means the designer, the structural engineer who has, or geotechnical engineer who has designed the pile has assumed a safe load. So 2.5 times of that safe load we will give to the pile. So I think the final year students knows what is the factor of safety we are giving for RCC structure. It is normally 1.5 times the moment we are giving for in the limit state method. So we are giving more than 1.5. That above factor of safety we are giving the load, and the pile may fail also. That's why I told it is ultimate load or 2.5 times the safe load of the pile. And the initial pile load test is required to determination of ultimate load capacity and arrival at a safe load by application of factor of safety. So the ultimate load capacity of the pile can be determined. Then the initial load test will give the guidelines for setting up the limits of acceptance of routine test. Like later, after installing working piles, initially we will give it, we will install a test pile and do an initial load test. After that, we will install the working piles, which the load is transferred from the column. So to provide guidelines, what method should be, if there is any problem during the initial test pile, we can change the method, or we can give from the soil report. We will get the what is the strata below the ground, and when installing the test pile, we can actually know from field what is underneath the ground. So for if there is any need for changing the design, or safe load capacity is not getting as per the design, we can redesign the pile or change the method of piling. There are a lot of methods for installation of pile. That is, one is direct mud circulation method. The The other one is augering. Augering means rotating a blade will be penetrated to the earth and we will install the pile. The method of piling shall be determined after initial load test. Then to get a suitability of piling system, what is to be for like when we are doing a initial load test, we will not the piling system or group of pile, the design of groups may not be designed to that type. After getting an idea from the initial load test only, we will go for the detailed design of the group piles for large projects. I am talking about if we are developing a building like flats or something. The cost implication for reducing the cost implication, this needs to be very much studied because pile foundations are very much costly rather than shallow foundations. So as much we can save, the cost implication shall be reduced from this after getting the data from initial load test. So then to check the calculated load by dynamic or static analysis approaches. So the structural engineer has designed the pile. After that, we are going to do the initial load test. So that time we can get a real calculation or real nature of the pile or real nature of the strata. So that is the purpose of initial load test. Then this is some codal provisions for initial load test to be done. For small size project, that is up to 100,000 numbers, there should be minimum 2 tests shall be done as per IS 2911. Then more than 1,000 numbers for minimum of 2 tests for first 1,000 files, and then additional 1 test for every additional 100 files. That is, if there are 3,000 files, then we need to do 2 tests for the initial 1,000 files, then 1 for the next 1,000. So total 3 files will be test will be needed. Then the initial load test will be done for a factor of safety of 2.5 times the safe load. Then the initial load test is to be done. The test pile should be installed using the same technique and same equipment as proposed for the working piles that I have already told, because that's how we are getting an information about what is to be done for the actual real working piles. So this is routine load test. After installing the working piles, after initial load test, we may redesign the pile. Then we will be deciding the group of how many piles shall be given in a single group of piles. Then what is the safe carrying capacity of the pile? Everything will be known from the initial load test. So after installing the working piles, we need to check whether the pile is capable of carrying the design load. So for that, we are using routine load test. Routine load test means we will give a load about 1.5%. That is the factor of safety the designer has given for limit state method. Then the routine load test, the 1.5 times load shall be given. 1.5 times the safe load is applied on the routine the test pile. The test pile means we will select the piles to be tested for routine test may preferably be selected based on the following. So we will install the total number of files. If for example, in my project there were 126 files. So we have constructed all the files. Then randomly, I have selected some of the piles using this criteria. There is some abnormal variation of concrete consumption. When we are pouring the concrete, if it is the quantity of concrete required was some 5 m cube or 6 m cube, then sometimes it will take more. The pile will take more concrete due to caving or some problems in the field. So we need to check the pile whether the pile will carry the safe load. Then a sudden drop in concrete level during construction of pile. Then if there were any problems encountered during boring and trimming operation, that is, the concreting operation may take some 1 or 2 hours. Based on what equipment we are using for mixing the concrete. If we are using a concrete batching plant of with 1 bag at a time or 3 bag at a time, we will or sometimes we will be using ready mix concrete. So if we are using ready mix concrete, normally the piling as per the depth, the piling operation will be the concreting process will be taking some 10 minutes or 15 minutes. But if you are going for batching, volume batching or design mixing or weigh batching at a field with using 3 bag mixer or 1 bag mixer, it will take up to 2 or 3 hours. So during this time duration, there may be some problems occurring. Some maybe the equipment there will be power loss, or the equipment will be having some problem. So we need to stop the concreting operation. So the installation of piling operation should be very much, the supervision is very much important. So if there are some problems encountered during concreting operation, we need to take that pile to do the routine load test, because we will be doubtful whether it will carry the safe load. So we will select that pile. Then the significant variation in depth of pile with respect to adjoining piles or boring record. Sometimes in the soil report it will be said that at 22 meter depth or 20 meter depth rock will be found. During installation or during boring operation, we will see at a 22 or 25 meter depth there will not be any significant hard rock. So then the depth of pile is changed as per the soil report, and as per the soil report, the structural engineer has designed the pile. So we need to check whether it will give more settlement or it is safe to carry the load. So that are some of the criteria for selecting piles for routine load test. Then these are various methods of load test. Various methods of load test means maintain the load method. In this method, we are maintaining the Kenledge load. I have shown you the photo of Kenledge. This load will be maintained for after giving all the increments. After giving the full load, we will maintain it for 24 hours. Then we will wait for we will take each hour's reading. Then after 24 hours, we will be releasing the load. Then cyclic method is not used. Personally, I haven't used that cyclic method. Then concentrate penetration method is generally used for here the load is maintained and the settlement will not be constant. But here the settlement will be constant and load will be varying. It will be done using it is not using this arrangement. Will be done using a hydraulic jack. So I mean you have seen crane. So using a crane, we will apply the load to the pile. Then this arrangement is only for maintain the load method. But for concentrate penetration, we will be varying the load according. The penetration will be constant there. Here the settlement will be varying and the load is constant. The increments are constant. When I show you the methodology, you can get a clear picture of that. So initially, now I will show you the methodology of pile load test. This is the method statement. For any load test to be done, we need to initially give to the client what is the procedure we are going to do for ensuring safety, for ensuring all the equipments are present at site. Everything need to be ensured before the load test is commenced. So the contractor should, this is my site test method, which was verified by B before the load test. So the contractor should submit the methodology, what he is going to do for ensuring all equipments, all load is arranged, all equipment like dial gauges, pressure gauge, hydraulic jack is arranged, everything according to our calculations, and the test procedure shall be arranged before the load test. So here the methodology has the scope is the method statement provides relevant information and procedures to assist our employees, like the contractors, employees, and subcontractors. There most of the time the pilot test will be done by a filing contractor. So the client's requirement and in total coordinating with all external agencies. For if there will be a client, there will be a project management consultant. So for they shall submit the methodology before the filing operation, like pilot test process for verifying everything. So all the calculations for pilot test is in this methodology. So the first procedure is the pile head preparation. So as per IS 2911, this is the IS code, IS 2911 part 4 2003-13, like design and construction of pile foundation code of practice. This is the code to be followed for load test on pile, and I will show you the procedure. Here, the every definitions are given in the IS code. Then about initial load test, then routine test, everything is mentioned in the IS code. Here in the IS code, it is said that preparation of the initial procedure is preparation of pile head. Preparation of pile head, the pile head should be chipped off to natural horizontal plane till sound concrete is met. The projecting reinforcement should be cut off or bent suitably, and the top finished smooth and level with cement plaster or similar synthetic material where required. A bearing plate with a mark at the center should be placed on head of the pile for jacks to rest. Finished pile head level may be measured prior and after load test suitable survey instrument. So using a dummy level or total station, we need to check the level. So I'll show you the photograph. Here, this is the pile chipped. The concrete is chipped to the natural horizontal plane, and these are the projecting reinforcing bar. So we will cut the projected reinforcing bar using a grinding machine. After that, see, this is the pile head prepared using a cement mortar, and it is level. Using a water level, we will check the level. Here, see, here you can see the pile head is made to a horizontal plane, and the levels are checked using a water level. And after that, this is another pile. Actually, we have done three pile load tests in our site. So this is another pile. This is the mortar making horizontal, and then plaster of Paris is applied. Plaster of Paris is applied above the horizontal plane. For this is where we place the jack above the pile. So this is the jack, and you can see the prepared surface here. So we will place this jack above this pile. So that is the first procedure, pile head preparation. So we will initially prepare the head. Then the method statement shows the what is the applicable, how much load is to be applied on the pile. So the test should be carried out by applying a series of vertical downward incremental load. So here in the maintained load method, we are giving the load gradually by some increments. If we need to test, if we need to give a final load of 67.5 ton, if we give the load or we apply the load, suddenly the soil may structurally fail. The pile, concrete may fail. So we will give the load in each increment of 20%, about 20%. The code says about 20%. It is not accurate, but about 20%, nearly 20% of the load shall be given to the in each increment. So what is increment? I will show you. For each division of the pressure gauge, we can get the increment. So this is a video of the pressure gauge. We are releasing the load here. So you can see each division of the pressure gauge here. This one, the least count of the pressure gauge is 10 kilogram per centimeter square. So one division is 10 kilogram per centimeter square, and the increment calculation is based on the safe load. 20% of the safe load is given during one increment. So the load calculation is safe load on pile. In my site, it was 45 ton for a single pile. So for routine load test, 45 into 1.5 times, that is 67.5 ton. And the code says 25% of the final load. This 25% of this final load shall be placed above the kennel. So we will increase 25%. That is 25% more than 65, 67.5 is 84 ton. So we will give 85 ton load above this kennel. So 85 ton load is given placed above this kennel for the test. So why we are giving 25% more load is when we apply the load, the central ISMB, this central section will be taking the load, and there is a chance of this to be overturned. The entire arrangement, when we lift this using a jack, I think you can see my pointer. Can you confirm this? My point. Hello. Madam, you can see my pointer, right? Okay. So when we apply the load using a jack, here this section will be moving up, and there is a chance of this entire arrangement to be overturned. So we will be giving a support in these two here, and some reaction, some load will be transferring to the ground through this load. To overcome, to reduce that effect, we are giving 25% load. So here the final test load shall be 1.5 times the safe load, and the final load on the kennel shall be 25% more than the our final test load. So that is here in the code, in the clause 7.1.3.1, the reaction to be made available for the test should be 25% more than the final test load proposed to be applied. So as per the code, we have given 85 ton total load on the kennel. Then the next procedure is about the kennel. How the kennel should be placed above the pile. The kennel will consist of sandbags loaded over platform built up of rolled steel joists support clear of the test pile. So here This is the Kenlet. So these are sandbags at the border of the arrangement platform. This is the platform, and these are sandbags. And in the center, we have just placed sand, and we are calculating the load based on the specific gravity of this volume into specific gravity will give how much volume of sand is there into specific gravity will give us the total load on the Kenlet. So that's how we are assessing the load, what load is there on the Kenlet. And the Kenlet shall be of 25% more than required final test load. Care will be taken in the placement of Kenlet on platform in order to ensure that the center of gravity, this is very important, like the Kenlet center of gravity of the total load coincides with the axis of the pipe. So here, this is the axis of pile, this center point, and we will be checking the Kenlet's center of gravity shall be passing through the axis of pile. So after preparing the surface of pile using a plumb bob, this picture shows how we are making that arrangement. This is the center of axis of the pile, and the Kenlet, the midpoint of the Kenlet is here shown in the tape. So we are ensuring the Kenlet will be placed at the axis of the pile, so that the load there will not be any eccentricity on loading. So this is the arrangement of checking during checking. From the very time of pile head preparation, the engineer in charge shall be checking every this procedure. We have to check every procedure. So using a plumb bob, we are ensuring the line of loading. And after the Kenlet is placed also, after the Kenlet is placed also, we are checking it using a plumb bob. The center of the Kenlet, and this is the axis of pile. So we are checking it using a plumb bob. So that's how the Kenlet is placed directly above the center of gravity of the Kenlet is placed directly above the axis of the pile. So the platform size, this is the platform size. The Kenlet outer dimension is 6.9 by 2.25. That will vary according. During our test, it was 6.9 by 6.25. Because this is very important, because during the volume calculation of the sand above the Kenlet, we need this area. This area into height will give you the volume, into specific gravity will give the load. So that is also important. We can give up to 8 meter, 8 by 8 meter. Normally we will give the Kenlet size. And the settlement observation. This is where we are during the pile load test. I have shown you a graph. I think I am showing it for the first time. The pile load test. This is the final result of the pile load test. We need to get a graph of load versus settlement. So this is the load in x-axis and settlement in the y-axis. So for each load, we need to get the settlement. For each increment, this is we are plotting the settlement in a graph, and this is for the rebound. So this is the final settlement. Then when we release the load, it will come to 0.5. So it started from 0, then it will go. It have gone up to 2.58 in our test. Then it came back to 0.56. So this is the net settlement of the pile, and from this we are calculating the rebound of the pile. So for the settlement is measured using dial gauges. So there should be minimum 4 dial gauges of 0.01 mm sensitivity. That is 1 by 100 of a millimeter sensitivity. So this is the dial gauge. This is the dial gauge we are using. This is the dial gauge we are using. So this least count of the dial gauge is 0.01 mm. This dial gauge can measure up to 0.01 mm to 50 mm. So So during pilot test, it is very important. We need to, even a small vibration will change the reading of the dial gauge. So we are using 4 dial gauges, and we will number it like this one. This one is the third one, then fourth one. So we are placing this dial gauges on a datum bar here, and the dial gauge, one leg of the dial gauge will be placed at the pile head. This is the pile head. A 10 mm steel plate is placed over the pile head, and we will place one leg of the dial gauge over the pile head. Then one leg on the dial gauge of the dial gauge will be placed on the datum bar. So when some settlement happens here, this dial gauge will show the settlement reading. This is the differential reading will be given. We will get the reading from here. So this is the dial gauge of 0.01 mm sensitivity, and because of that, during when we go inside the loading platform, this is the datum bar. There are 2 datum bars on either side of the pile. Then we will place the dial gauge here. One leg of the dial gauge will be here on the pilot pile head, and the dial gauge will be placed here. So when we go near the datum bar will be concreted, so as to ensure there is no relative movement during the load test, or when we walk through this ground, there is a chance of movement of the dial gauges, this datum bar. So when the datum bar, because of the high sensitivity of the dial gauge, this should be taken care of very much. When taking the readings, we have to take care about the vibrations also. So only 2 persons will be coming down to this area under the cannage. Here I am sitting under the cannage, so 85 ton of weight is above my head. Then when I come underside of this cannage, I have to be very careful that the datum bars are not vibrated due to my movement. So it is concreted on both sides, and the levels of the datum bar are initially checked. For if the datum bar is slightly inclined, the reading will one dial gauge will be placed here, and one dial gauge will be placed in this one, and the other 2 will be placed on the other side. So if the datum bar is inclined in position, the dial gauges will be showing different readings. So that's why the datum bar and the movement of datum bar is very important. This is the datum bar concreted on the either side. So here, settlement observation, the settlement shall be recorded with the minimum 4 dial gauges and of 0.1 mm. The dial gauge shall be placed symmetrically and at equal distance from the pile, and will be held at the datum bar resting on the immovable support. The datum bar will be immovable, and the dial gauges on the when we were following the earlier code, the code insisted only 3 dial gauges, and why we are taking 3 dial gauges, because of here this is the reading we are getting from the dial gauge reading. So 1, 2, 3, 4, there will be 4 dial gauges, and we are taking the average settlement finally. So that's why we are placing 4 dial gauges, and that will give us an accurate average value. That's why we are using 4 dial gauges nowadays. With the in the recent code, it is saying that 4 dial gauges shall be used. In the earlier code, it insisted for 3 dial gauges, and nowadays we are using 4 dial gauges at 45 degrees to the pile. That is symmetrically, we will place it symmetrically. Then about the load application. The load application, the test load will be applied by means of a hydraulic jack. I have already shown you the hydraulic jack. This is the hydraulic jack. Then the jack will butt against the jacking girder assembly bearing against the loading platform. The jacking girder assembly will consist of rolled steel beams, 2 numbers with the bottom flanges well braced. That means this is the jack. The jack will be connected to this two ISMBs, two sections, and when we give pressure here in the using the pressure gauge, this is the lever of the pressure gauge. I think you can see it. When we give the pressure, automatically the load goes up, the jack goes up, and the reaction of this load comes to the file. So here the jack will be placed at center, and the test will be carried out by applying a series of vertical downward incremental loads. So if there is, we need to give 65. Here we have got 67.5 tons load shall be applied. So and the code says 20% of the safe load should be applied in each increment. So here I have calculated like 20% of the safe load is 45 ton into 20% is 9 ton. So this 9 ton, nearly 9 ton should be given during one increment. So here the calculation of how we will get this 9 ton is shown here. Like the diameter of the jack is of 35 centimeters. Here this is the jack ram, this is the whole jack, and when we apply the load, this jack ram of the jack comes up. So this will be the area which is applying the load to the kennel. So this area here we have taken the calculation is like this. This area of the ram is equal to pi by 4 into d square. So we will get the area. Then that is 961. That is 35 centimeter. This is in centimeter square. So the least count of the pressure gauge is 10 kilogram per centimeter square. So using the equation stress is equal to load by area, we will get the load. Like stress into area gives. This is the stress here. One division will give when we see here. Here when one division is when we see one division here, that means 10 kilogram per centimeter square stress is applied on the kennel. So by using that stress into area will give us the load, and that is this ram area into that into stress divided by 1000 is this is in 10 kilogram per centimeter square. So we will get the value in kilogram divided by 1000 will give the value in ton. So 9.62 ton is applied while we give one division increment. So first division, the first increment will be 9.62. Like that, we will give 7 divisions for getting 67.34 ton. Here we require 67.5 ton as the final load, and because of that was a routine load test, we have given up to 67.34. There is a nominal reduction in the tonnage, that is not a problem, and that is the load calculation. So the diameter of the jack is there are various type of jacks. Sometimes for if we need to give more load, we will use 2 jacks parallel. That is a separate assembly. I haven't used it in my site. So here there are jacks of diameter ranging from 30 centimeter, 32 centimeter, 34 centimeter is there, 35 centimeter is there. So according to what load we need to give, we have to select the jack according to the diameter of the ram. So that diameter of the ram will give you this load for one division. So one division in the pressure gauge means 9.62 ton we are applying. So that is these are the series of increments. So 7 division means 7 times we are 7 incremental load we are giving. So the next stage will be after the each stage of loading will be maintained till the rate of movement of file top is not more than 0.2 millimeter per hour or until 2 hours have elapsed, whichever is earlier, subject to a minimum of 1 hour. That means when we apply the load, when we give the first division here, when we give 9.62 tons, we will observe the settlement. We will observe the settlement. Let's see. You can see that this is the format of load settlement recording. So the date is there, time, then division on pressure gauge is there, load in tons, and dial gauge readings are there. So this is the reading we are taking from the dial gauge, and this is the time we are giving. Here you can see in 15 minutes increment we have taken the reading. 3:45 we have taken the 7th division load. We have taken the a reading. Then after 15 minutes we have taken another reading. After 15 minutes again we have taken another reading. So here for each increment during in a 15 minutes interval we are taking the readings and recording. So when the initial load is given and the first 1 hour we will check for the settlement, and if it is more than 0.2 mm we will maintain the load for another 1 hour, and up to 2 hour one increment is being maintained. So here it is said that and if the load is if the settlement is less than 0.2 mm per hour, not more than 0.2 mm per hour, we will give the load settlement we will give the next increment. So if the settlement reading, here we got an average. Here we will get an average for the first 1 hour. So it is, if it is less than 0.2 mm per hour, we will give the next load. If it is more than 0.2 mm per hour, we will maintain the load for another 1 hour. And the time and settlement observation will be made at commencement and completion of each stage of incremental loading. When we give suddenly after giving one increment, we will take a reading, and then the interval, the settlement observation will also be continued at about 15 minutes intervals, and during the period when applied load is constant. We will check the reading. The settlement should be constant. After that, we will give the next increment. So after maximum of 2 hours, this should be maintained. If the reading is more than 0.2 mm per hour, the rate of penetration is 0.2 mm, more than 0.2 mm per hour. Otherwise, we will give the next division, next tonnage, if it is less than 0.2 mm per hour. So this is the when the loading has reached the test load, it will be maintained for a period of 24 hours, and the settlement reading every 1 hour will be noted during this period. That is, you can see here. Here I have given the final increment here, 7th division here, and after that I have taken the readings in every 1 hour, 5:15, 6:15, 7:15, 8:15, and up to 24 hours. I have maintained the load, the maximum load, 67 tons load, and I have recorded the reading in each 1 hour. So it is a process which this maintain the load method will take 1 day time. Overnight, we need to check for the, we have to be at site overnight. Night time also we need to take the measurement. So for 24 hours, we will take, maintain the load and take the reading and record it here. And here you can see the settlement after the final load has given. Here the settlement varies. For 24 hours, there are small 1.005, then it is 1.02, then it is 1.027, 0.007 mm is increased. So the load is getting increased for the 24 hours. On each hour, the load will be more when we are maintaining the load. And this is the final settlement after 24 hours. Then we will start releasing the load. So the load will be then brought to zero gradually in stages by releasing the jacking pressure and progressively in 30 minutes, and the pile rebound readings will be noted. That is the video. This is the process of releasing the load. See, this jack will be the pressure will be slowly released here, and you can see the pressure gauge reading comes down here. So during releasing, the jack will be released using a spanner, and the load comes down. When it is one division comes down, we will again tighten the jack. So here the load has come down to one division, and like that 7 divisions will be here. After fully loaded, the division was 7, and in each hour, for every 15 minutes, we will release one increment. We will release, and we will come down up to 0. And this is the final settlement. And after releasing, there is a settlement. So the difference in settlement is known as the net settlement of the fine. And this is the calculation for load on platform. So when the whole test is based on the load which is given on this platform. So this is the platform, and the calculation for what I have told you, the volume of sand in the specific gravity will give the load. That will give the load of sand, and all these steel sections load is also coming on the pipe. So we need to calculate that also. So this is the calculation. There is one ISMB 600 by 210 in the center. That is this one. This ISMB is the first load we are calculating. That is 2 numbers are there as 1 unit. This is combined together. 2 ISMBs are combined together. So the load of that ISMB is given. The length of the ISMB is 7 meters. So running meter length is 123 kilograms. So that will give the load. Then 10 ISMB are above that. This is the other section, longitudinal section. So on the center ISMB, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is another photograph from one of my other sites actually. Not for this calculation. So there are the 7 meter length, 10 ISMBs are there, and the weight is 25 kilograms per running meter. So we will get the total load here, and there are 12 mm diameter bars placed above this ISMB. So for supporting the platform here, under this, for supporting the platform, we have placed, you can see this from this photograph. Here you can see there are 12 mm dia bars are placed here. These are the HYSD bars placed over this ISMB. So that weight also will be coming to the pile when we are applying the load. So these are the ISMBs placed over the platform Kenlet. So that weight also we have considered here. Then the 4 mm MS sheet size, that is 4 mm MS sheet is placed above the here below this for supporting the sand. MS sheet is placed above the ISMB bar. So that weight is also fine during load application. So we need to consider that also. Then the sand of the weight of sand. That is the total area of the this is the area of the Kenlet. Then into 1.3 meter height. This height is 1.3 meter. So that will give into specific gravity. We have taken the weight of actually it is not specific gravity, it is unit weight of the MSAN. So 1650 we have taken for MSAN, and that is the total weight. So actually this is 96 tons load is above the Ken-ledge, and we require only 85 tons. Required load on Ken-ledge we have already calculated as 85 tons, and after all these arrangements there will be 96 tons. So we are safe. Here more load is there. The problem is if there is not the load more than the load we are applying, that is 67.5 ton load we are applying. So if there is not that much load here, this Ken-ledge, when we apply the load using a jack, this Ken-ledge will go up and it will overturn. That will cause some safety issues. So normally we will give more load than required above here, so that the Ken-ledge will be stable. So that is the procedure of this. That is the methodology, method statement of pilot test. Maintain load method. So these are, I have put it in PPT also. File head preparation, then this Ken-ledge load on Ken-ledge calculation. This is the axial checking of axial load in the pile. The axis of pile and Ken-ledge middle section should be verified. Then these are the dial gauges. Then this is the arrangement. This is how we place the dial gauge on the datum bar. And this is the we will give a number for each dial gauge, and the datum bar is checked for horizontality. This is how this is the loading jack, and this is how a loading jack will look like after the final load. The ram will come up, and this we can see the datum bar here. This is the arrangement of loading. This is the tube which hydraulic oil is coming to the jack, and load is getting applied. So this is how the jack will look like after the final load. This is the center I have already shown you. Then this is the pressure gauge. We are giving for each increment of the pressure gauge. For each division, this is 10 kilogram per centimeter square. For while we give each increment, we will give load using this lever. This is the lever for giving load to the jack, and this each increment will be shown in the pressure gauge. And this is the load pilot test data. I will give you a brief on that one. Here we have done the test on 13/2/2021 at 8:15 a.m. we have started. So initially we will give a settlement load of 20% for as a seating load. That will not be taken into account, and at 8 a.m. and after that on 8:15 a.m. we will give the first increment. So this is the pressure gauge division on pressure gauge. That is one division we have given. Load in tons is 9.62. Then dial gauge readings are taken. Here you can see the first dial gauge shows 0.00 mm. Then the second one also shows 0.00 mm, and the third one is 0.06 mm. So and the fourth one is 0.00 mm. So we have the average settlement is taken here. A plus B plus C plus D by 4 we have taken here, and for the next 15 minutes we have taken the various readings and recorded in it here. So after 1 hour at 9:15 we have checked the reading. So it is only 0.19 mm. So I have told you if in an hour if it is more than the settlement is more than 0.2 mm, we need to maintain the load for 1 more hour. So here it is less than 0.2 mm. So we have given the next division. Here, see, 0.02 mm, it is after 1 hour 9:15, it is 0.02 mm, and 9:15 we have given the next increment. So that is 0.19 mm we have got. Like that, up to 10:15 we have given. Here see, you can see 0.255 mm. So 0.255 mm, here the settlement is more than 0.2 mm. So we have maintained the load again, that second increment to for another 1 hour. That is up to 11:15. We have given the load at 9:15, and up to 11:15 we have maintained the load. So that is the difference between that is the procedure for in giving increment of load, and after 2 hours we can give the next increment. So here you can see the settlement. This is the data sheet, and here at 8:15 we have started. We have given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 readings we have given. After that, we have maintained it for 24 hours, and after this at 3:15, here you can see at evening 3:15 we have given the final load. 7th load we have given, and on the next day, 14/2/2021 at 3:15 we started releasing the load. So for 24 hours we have maintained the load. And this is the 3:15. This is the final settlement, and at 5 o'clock the load test is over, and the final settlement after rebound is 0.407. So the difference between 1.27 and 0.407 will give you the net settlement. This is another load test calculation. So these are the settlement observation. Then from this settlement observation, we will be plotting this curve. And using this curve, the structural engineer or the engineer who has designed a geotechnical engineer or structural engineer will verify the load test data, and they will be deciding on if there shall be any change in the design or there shall be any change in the method of filing. They will be deciding like that. So the IS code says here, for the safe vertical load on single failure, initial load test should be at least the following. That is, for up to 600 mm diameter pile, the displacement 2/3 of the final load, at which the total displacement attains a value of 12 mm. That is, up to 600 mm pile, we can allow a settlement up to 12 mm, and we will allow a settlement up to 12 mm, and we will take the load at which here from this curve we will check for the settlement. So this is up to only 3 mm we have plotted the load for initial load test for 12 mm settlement, somewhat above the graph in y-axis. It will be getting, and the corresponding load will be taken, and 2/3 of the load will be taken for design of pile. That is the safe load carrying capacity of pile. So 2/3 of the final load at which the total displacement attains a value of 12 mm, unless otherwise required in a given case of base of nature and type of structure, in which case the safe load should be corresponding to stated total displacement permissible. That means 2/3 of the final load at which the total displacement at a value for 600 mm up to 600 mm diameter, and for above more than 600 mm diameter, 2/3 of the final load at which 18 mm settlement is there. So this is the difference between considering the diameter of the pile up to 600 mm, 2/3 of the if we are getting 12 mm settlement for 100 tons. For an example, I am telling. So we will be taking the safe load as 66 tons, and for up to 600 mm and more than 600 mm, we will be for the load at which 18 mm settlement happened, we will be factored to 2/3, and that will be the safe load of the pile. So this is the procedure and some practical considerations during file load test and the final result of the file load test. And now, as far as this, as of now, I have discussed about maintain load method, and there are some this maintain load, the demerit of this maintain load method. There are merits and demerits for this method, both the methods. So the demerit is it will take more time. Like we have to install the file, then the file needs to be the file concrete needs to attain the strength of at the 20th day strength. We are considering the full strength have achieved for the file. So after 28 days only we can do this test. So 1 month of the project period will be lost. And during the test also, this test is for 24 hours. For this 24 hours, we need to ensure there is no vibration in the datum bar. Every time for 15 minutes, we have to take the reading and everything. So the merit of this method is it will be more accurate, the settlement values, and it will be more accurate what is actually happening in the site or for this soil strata. We can know what will be the actual settlement for the strata below the file. So these are the merits and demerits of this file load test maintain load method. So nowadays, for one of our projects, I will share with you another test, that is dynamic load test. Dynamic load test, actually we don't have an Indian code. Actually, I'll show you the code. We are following ASTM code for standard test method for high strain dynamic testing for deep foundation. So the merit of this method, this high strain dynamic testing method is it will be taking less time. After this installation of file, after achieving the strength, we can do the test for it will take some for 1 hour, 1 hour it will be taking for this test for high strain dynamic test. So recently in one of our sites we have done a high strain dynamic test, and I will share the videograph of this test. So this is the test arrangement. This is there is no Kenlech here, you can see, and there is a hammer. This is a hammer, and this hammer is weighing 1.5 tons. This hammer will be hello. This hammer, we will place this hammer, like we will put this hammer above this this file head, and the hammer is weighing 1.5 ton of weight. So using the impact load, we can know what is the settlement. And so this is the pile to be tested, and the same head preparation has been done here. And this finishing, this grinding is done for placing some sensors. I'll show you the sensor. This is the sensor used for pile. So when we throw a hammer above the pile, this hammer will be put above the pile. It will be a free fall. So when we put this hammer above this pile, there will be some impact. Dynamic load will be happening, and that dynamic load will be assessed through this sensor, and this sensor will be connected to a pile driving analyzer. This is the pile driving analyzer. So we will get what is the load applied, and what is the resistance of the soil. Everything will be shown from this pile driving analyzer. So I'll show you the video. This is the arrangement. The sensor is covered using this sack actually, and the pile head is prepared, and a 10 mm, 12 mm plate is placed above this one. And for getting a free fall using a crane, this is placed above actually above this pile, and getting a free fall, we are giving a we will light up this using fire, this rope. The rope is fire given a fire. So this impact will be measured using the pile driving analyzer. This is a procedure for high strain dynamic test, and while here you can see the effect of the impact on this pile in the driving analyzer. Here the graph will change when the hammer see here at the instant of the hammer touches the pile, we will see. Can you hear the audio of this video graph?
No, sir, we couldn't hear the audio.
Okay. I think because I am sharing my screen, so the audio is not. No. Actually, I don't know. Some technical issues there. Actually, when the at the instance of the hammer touches the pile, here the graph changes. See, and from this data here, this is the DFN means the deflection final. That is after I have told the net settlement. Then here RSU is the resistance of soil. Then FMX is the maximum load applied. So here we are putting a 1.5 ton hammer above the pile, and according to the height, the drop height in meter, we are getting what load was acted on the pile. So here, when I have shown you the video of 0.5 50 centimeter height fall. So the maximum load applied is acted is 61.6 meter, and the resistance of soil was 1.33.5. So this was for a 700 meter pile, and here the calculations are shown like the working load. The pile was designed for 100 MT and test load was 150. Because for dynamic load test, according to this ASTM code, the 1.5 times load should be applied. And this is the graph we have shown in the pile drive, and this is the arrangement we have seen. So these are the sensors at a 1.5 into diameter. These are the sensors attached to the pile. So this is at a 1.5D below the pile. So this is attached to the pile at a depth of 1.5 meter diameter. So that's the procedure for dynamic load test. Actually, I have done it for one time, so that's why I couldn't explain you that much in a depth. So now, if you have some questions, we can ask, we can discuss. Hope the thing is clear to you.
Has anyone got some queries? The answer is no, I think. Okay, thank you, sir. That was actually a wonderful section. We could actually see what was happening in the site while constructing pile foundations. Now I invite Sujinis for delivering the vote of thanks.
Lakshmi, I am audible.
Yes, Miss.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. I myself, Suji P., Assistant Professor of the Civil Engineering Department, Mahaguru Institute of Technology. On the behalf of Department of Civil Engineering and Mahaguru Institute of Technology, take this opportunity to deliver the vote of thanks to this section. I extend my gratitude to the resource person of the day, Engineer Chinju Kader Muhammad, to take out time for this busy schedule to grace the event. Thank you for inspiring and encouraging us with your words on this special day. I may like to express our sincere thanks to the resource person giving an excellent coverage to load test on piles. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank our principal, Dr. Manju J, for permitting the organizing the webinar. I would like to thank our beloved HOD, Professor Priya Grace Ittiyai, for her support and guidance. I also thank to all the faculty members of Civil Engineering Department for their immense support and motivation. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the students for their willingness to attend the webinar. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Suji. Thank you, Chinchu sir, once again.
Actually, it is Chichu.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Chichu. Okay. So it was a pleasure and it was a great session. And you gave a real-time coverage on this topic, actually. It was very informative. Thank you once again, sir. Okay.
If your students have any doubts regarding this, I can later also clarify them.
Okay, sir. We will just tell them. Like if anybody is working on this project and all, we can definitely contact you with this.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Let's wind up the session.